Oh God, I'm on my own tonight.
Sorry, what?
It would have been funnier if you'd walked back into the frame.
Well, unfortunately, with the way this is, I can only bend this way. If I tried to get up, I might pull the whole laptop with me.
Oh shit! Do you have Bluetooth? Because I'm just gonna say Raycon plus Bluetooth means get up and walk away for comedic effect.
Yeah, I might consider that. I only did just recently learn that they do also do headphones, so might consider that for a later gift down the line.
Oh, nice. Yeah. And speaking of technology, you all saw the title. You know what you're in for. Tonight, we are sharing our thoughts, our predictions, and our desires for the Nintendo Switch 2. And just a reminder, the Nintendo Switch 2 technically did not exist until today. Every single statement about Nintendo's next console being the Switch 2 because of leaks and rumors up until today was misinformation. And now the latest rumor is, surprise, surprise, it's going to be an unreasonable price. Because some videos on YouTube, the price tag of the Nintendo Switch 2 is divided. It's divided. Hello, Matthew. Anyway, as you can see, before we get started, new year, new shit. I have no clue if the chat overlay is supposed to stay or if it's supposed to disappear like a sort of like Twitch commenter type thingy. So we're gonna fucking see what happens. But let us know in the comments below what you think of the new countdown, what you think of having the chat overlay in the video, even though you can all see it in both the live replay and live on your YouTube, unless you full screen. If you full screen it, yay, we've got the chat overlay for you now. Anyway, and let Matt have his wishful thinking about Mario Kart Double Dash 2. So, Brent, what did you think when you saw the whole reveal?
I mean, well, I will say this. I mean, the design of it looks pretty impressive. I mean, instead of going with the way the old Joy-Con is, everything is like black with lines inside. Yeah, probably, Matt. Probably.
Damn, where can I get your paycheck?
But design-wise, it looks kind of impressive. The only thing that I'm a little concerned about is the new form that they're using for the Joy-Cons. Like, you know, magnetic-wise, I don't mind it. It actually seems like a good idea. The only thing I'm concerned about is for the charge part of it, because to me, it seems like if you like take it out in a certain way, there's a high chance you could probably. It looks like there's a high chance you could snap that thing.
Which part?
The charger part that's in the that's inside the Switch.
Yeah.
Yeah, for the Joy-Cons. It's just like, to me, it looks a little like flimsy and could easily break if people say, like, you know, if they just like take it off this way, probably not. But if they were like, say, bend it a sort of way.
Much like with the non-existent Joy-Con drift, this is probably just another scheme by Nintendo to sell more Joy-Cons.
Well, actually, that would be more of like a selling more units or getting them repaired, because the charger part is inside, like, the actual Switch.
Can we just have one nice thing without Miyamoto pulling a Miyamoto?
I mean, it's either that or it's a design oversight. And maybe I'm overthinking it. Maybe it's just like it looks flimsy, but it's actually stronger than it looks.
Well, everyone thought Joy-Con drift was a design oversight, and as we all remember, Miyamoto got a judge to claim that everyone who complained about Joy-Con drift was making it up.
Speaking of, do you think there's going to be Joy-Con drift on this one?
Considering that the legal ruling in the class action lawsuit that happened here allowed Nintendo to claim that Joy-Con drift did not exist, I believe unless they take those complaints seriously, go behind Miyamoto's back and try to fix it in the R&D department, I think, yes, there is a chance we're going to be dealing with the Joy-Con drift with the Switch 2.
Yeah, I can imagine that part just because of, the selling of Joy-Cons, which again is one of the reasons why I feel like the design choice for there. And again, I haven't seen it. I won't know until we get to the April 2nd, direct, yes. But from what I saw to it, it looked a little flimsy to design. The charge part that's the Joy-Con connects to charge.
Well,
but
as long as people don't mishandle it.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Is if they don't mishandle it, it'll be fine. And if it's but if they say it's it turns out to be more dexterous than it seems in the reveal, we'll just have to see.
I was watching a YouTuber named Blunty beforehand. He was doing, I don't know if the title was clickbait because I only watched about halfway through. Then I got involved with getting everything set up for the stream. But he noted that there's a USB port on the top of the system this time, which means that when the Switch is docked, you can actually charge it from the top. So if you're playing in tabletop mode and you want to plug it in while the kickstand's out, you won't risk bending your fucking charger cable. It would be weird, but again, it's not that it's Nintendo, Matt. It's that it's Miyamoto, okay? We're talking about a guy who was once a wise, well-respected video game developer and is now basically arrogant and running the company with an iron fist. That whatever Miyamoto says goes. If something is done behind his back and it's too late to undo it, he just pretends like it was his plan all along. I would hope that they would want to do better, Because I had a pair of Joy-Cons that drifted back in 2019, and I sent the one that was drifting away, and USPS did that thing where they got lazy and threw my package away. And Nintendo never got it. About 2 months later, I asked how come my Joy-Con hadn't come back. Brant was nice enough to buy me a replacement pair, which is why I have the orange and purple.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, to this day, I think USPS should reimburse him. And I guess USB, I guess with the charging port on the top, they're taking notes from Valve, which is a good thing. Because like I said, if you have your system with the charger on the bottom and the kickstand out, how are you going to... You bend that cable too much, the copper wiring inside is going to break. So, excuse me, but I want my charger to last as long as possible.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I do hope that there's going to be a lot of improvements over the Switch. And I think that's what I think we should talk about next. Our hopes for the Switch is in games and shit.
Yeah.
It's I hope that there is more internal storage memory. Yes, I know the OLED did have a larger system memory, but not everyone's going to be able to afford or be willing to buy an SD card right out of the gate. So people are going to need those. So people are going to need more space, especially if they import their whole Switch library of digital games over. 3 pairs? You poor thing. Most of my replacements have come from the batteries and the Joy-Cons being shit, which is my next desire. I hope the battery life of the Joy-Cons are improved. He's been obsessing over Baby Wario in Nintendo games all day. He wants it in the next Mario Party. He wants it in the Mario Kart that was revealed today. Okay, Wario in a diaper I can get, but it's nightmare fuel without the mustache, even if he isn't his baby form.
Yeah.
Now, you really want to traumatize everyone? Introduce us to Baby Waluigi.
Anorexic baby.
With no mustache.
Yep.
And that giant honking nose.
Yep.
But yeah, so it's better battery life, because a year and a half into my first pair of Joy-Cons, I had a second pair, and I charged the second pair. and the first pair was dying within 30 minutes, within a year and a half into owning the system.
Mm-hmm.
Roughly around like the summer of 2019.
Yeah.
Okay, that's closer to like 2.5 years, but still. I was dealing with battery issues as far back as mid 2018. So,
Mm-hmm.
yeah. But yeah, so better battery life, because the third thing that I want, I know they're not going to do it, and we're going to talk about this more in depth in a future topic. Like delisting games, do they want you to stop playing the old games? Because it's deeper. It's deeper than just, well, virtual console exists. It's deeper than that, okay?
Mm-hmm.
And I feel like if you have, like, I'm planning on keeping my Switch Lite, okay? I use this for portable gameplay. The Switch over there on the TV that docks, I use that strictly for multiplayer with other people and filming videos for the channel and doing gameplay live stream.
Mm-hmm.
If I'm taking that with me, it's because I have a reason to bring it with me somewhere.
Mm-hmm.
So it's like I might sell the big Switch to fund the Switch 2. Save me a little money, you know?
Mm-hmm.
But it's like, I'm keeping my Switch Lite, and I don't think I'm going to be able to afford a big enough SD card right out the gate.
Yeah.
Like maybe a 128 gigabyte, if I'm lucky. I can pop the 128 in the old Switch out, reformat it, and have it ready for the Switch 2. But it's like, with the Nintendo Switch, my Lite is the primary console, and my big Switch is the secondary console.
Mm-hmm.
And what I can do with that is I can link both Switches to my Nintendo account, and then I can access all of my save data that's up in the cloud. Pokemon and Animal Crossing and Splatoon, they don't get covered. Warframe doesn't fucking get covered by the cloud for some reason.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if that was a Nintendo decision or if it was fucking the developers being like, yeah, when in Rome, you know? But so it's like, I can even access all my digital titles. But I'm willing to bet when the Switch 2 releases, if I link it to my Nintendo account, they'll make me de-link both of these Switches, losing access to my library and having to transfer everything over, because the brand new system is out. Why would you want to link your new system to an account where you can still access your old system?
Well, I get where you're coming from, but the trailer did show that like a game that it's like is like backwards compatible with the stuff. I mean,
right, but a new system won't be connected to your account. If they erase your access to your old Switch when you connect your Switch 2, mm-hmm. if you'll have to do a system transfer from system A to system B, and then because if you don't, you'll have to repurchase everything that you had on your Switch. Mm-hmm. And I'm only willing to double dip if games get improvements or changes that couldn't be done on the Switch, or the capacity storage. Like, how the hell did they fit Borderlands 3 on a game card, but they couldn't fit Borderlands 1 and 2 on a game card?
I've got no clue.
Yeah. Anyway, but besides the point, like, so I want the My Nintendo account linking to be compatible with all your systems, especially since I wouldn't be surprised if going forward they pull a PlayStation and the Switch becomes the future. Mm-hmm. Like Switch 3 comes out. I'll keep my Switch 2, sell my Switch Lite, and then I'll link my Switch 3 and my Switch 2. That, you know?
Yeah.
Anyway, well, all my stuff is in my Steam cloud too, man. I just don't have a Steam Deck. I do Steam shit straight through my computer. But yeah, we'll see what happens. But those are my 3 biggest wishes, because they already fixed my kickstand problems.
Yeah.
What are some of your biggest wishes?
Honestly, if we're just talking about like in terms of what it offers, in terms of if we're just talking about like say that sort of stuff, I'm just hoping like, you know, that in like, I'm just hoping that it's not going to be like one of those situations where it's like, you know, the Switch just becomes obsolete. Like, you know, that sort of thing. Like I get for you, but it's just like, you know,
Yeah, especially because I'm only going to have one game at launch. If Mario Kart does become the launch game, that's going to be my pick.
Yeah.
Unless there's like 5 different games and I've literally got to sell my blood, my plasma, my urine, and my body just to afford more than one launch title.
Wait, sell your body which way? You are talking about selling it to a hospital, right?
Prostitution. If I sell my body to a hospital, how the hell am I supposed to play my games?
Well, they could give you the money now, and then when you die, you give your body over to the hospital.
Okay, they make that deal work. I'll consider it for the more legalized purposes of selling myself. Anyway, you were saying.
Yeah, but in terms of anything else at the moment, not really too much otherwise, because you've kind of said everything else for there. I mean, on this sort of topic, if we're getting into games, then I have some possible thoughts.
Yeah.
Well, first and foremost,
I'll share that in a moment. I'll let you finish first. We're gonna Matt. We're gonna let Brent finish what he's saying, and then I'll talk about whether or not you can grant your 3 wishes.
well, it's funny you mentioned that sort of thing, Matt, because I think they're probably going to pull. Do you remember when Twilight Princess was first a GameCube game, and they got also a port for the Wii when it came out?
Yes, because I distinctly remember that because the controls of the Wii were so bad, my Wii remote deep fried, and I had to get a new one.
Yeah, but that's sort of the thing I'm thinking of. I'm thinking Metroid Prime 4 or Metroid Prime 4 Beyond is basically going to be a game that gets released for both the Switch and the Switch 2.
People are saying the same thing might happen with ZA. And I'm going to tell you right now, Matt, F-Zero GX2, we would all love F-Zero GX2, but 99 was an outlier because they're playing around with like the 99 Battle Royale thing now. As far as Miyamoto is concerned, even if the F-Zero development team wants to make a new F-Zero game, as far as he's concerned, the games can't be innovated anymore, so we're never going to make another one. Fuck you, you arrogant windbag. Just do the gaming world a favor and retire already.
Mm-hmm.
Uh-huh.
But anyways, what I'm guessing is that probably not when it gets released, but there's definitely probably going to be new Mario because there's always going to be something for that for one of the for one there. Probably going to be another like a Zelda as well, though. Whether it will be a sequel to like basically following like a trilogy to the previous 2 games or not, like Breath of the Wild, Tears of the Kingdom, and then like the 3rd game is the one that falls into there, or they do something different.
Legend of Zelda, breakable weapons are back with a vengeance.
Oh, they've been back for a vengeance for a while. Granted, I will say this: Tears of the Kingdom actually gave a reason why they are becoming breakable, and it's not just age.
Well, I'm going to tell you right now, I stand in Dorkley's corner with their breakable weapons Zelda video where they did like that Link to the Past where everything broke, including Ganon's magic trident.
Yeah.
I mean, you can tell us the reason in a moment, but I'm going to tell you right now, there is no reason for weapons to break in a game that's all about escape from reality. Okay, I'll give him that because it would be better than Triforce Heroes. You know why. So what's the reason why the weapons break, besides Nintendo trying to dick us around?
Well, in the first game, the reason that most of the weapons broke was because many of the ones you find out there are 100 years old. They've rusted over.
Mm-hmm.
Or they're like makeshift weapons that are made from like enemies. The ones that don't make sense are the newly created like weapons from that point. Like, ones that are made in the modern times.
Mm-hmm.
But for the second reason, you do know like kind of what happens in like Tears of the Kingdom, right?
I got so turned off from Breath of the Wild I didn't bother with
Okay, so basically in the story, Link and Zelda find like the resting spot of Ganondorf, and when he reawakens, the malice that is released into there, that like corrosive like sludge stuff.
I think so.
He's the source of it, and when he awakens, he releases more of it, and it like corrodes anything it touches.
Mm-hmm.
So at the very least, there's a reason for that. I personally prefer the 100 years have passed sort of thing, but at the very least, it's like, okay, now I can understand why at least modern day weapons are breaking too.
Mm.
It's not the best, but at the very least, there is like a thing that I can at least understand.
Yeah. Still, I want my weapons to last because it's a fantasy game, but that's just me.
Mm-hmm.
Anyway, but yeah, okay. So in terms of games that we want to see, it's not just about games, but how we want the games to be put out going forward. Because I was having a conversation on the phone earlier today about this. It's like, Sakurai fucked up, okay? The only proper way to cull the roster for a new Smash game is to remove... Echo Fighters, I'll give a pass because they have similar movesets, but are completely separate characters.
Mm-hmm.
But actual palette swaps, like Dr. Mario, and I don't want to hear it from any of the Kid Icarus and Metroid fans. As far as I'm concerned, these could have been palette swaps, okay? But Dark Pit and Dark Samus, stuff like that, those can be cut. Culling the Fire Emblem rep can be cut. Culling the Pokemon rep can be cut. But actually cutting out actual variety characters... No. Like, every character that is their own standalone character, with the exception of overdoing it, like with Pokemon and Fire Emblem, deserve to stay on the base roster.
Mm-hmm.
No matter what they do, unless they only cull palette swaps, Pokemon, and Fire Emblem reps, there's no way they won't ruin the roster and make Ultimate the better game to play. I don't care what fighters get... Waluigi could get into the next Smash game. And making any changes to the roster other than the 3 I just mentioned would make it worse than Ultimate. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
They need to keep the vast majority of the roster, and Sakurai should have realized this when he did Everyone Is Here,
Mm-hmm.
I'll give Young Link a pass as a palette swap because he's Young Link,
Mm-hmm.
But it's a far cry between Toon Link and regular Link,
Yeah.
Personally, I'd rather keep Toon Link if one of them had to go.
Yeah.
Just because I like the way some of his character swaps work,
Mm-hmm.
And then, yeah. So, yeah, it's like that, oh, wait. You said you gave me 5 minutes? Try 23 minutes.
Mm-hmm.
Here's what Pokemon is not going to do. Improve the graphics and get rid... I am still waiting. I'm still waiting for Miyamoto to say there are no visual glitches in Pokemon Scarlet and Violet. And anyone who's live streaming or using game footage in their videos gets their Switch falsely banned for hacking the game. After all, according to Miyamoto, everything that Nintendo puts out is 100% perfect and there's nothing wrong with any of it. So obviously we're lying about the graphical glitches, just like we were lying about Joy-Con drift. But seriously, no new Pokemon games until Game Freak gets their shit together. I may be a part of Bring Back the National Dex, but most of us in that movement know that ship has sailed. We can want it all we want, but we're still going to put our focus to other bad decisions Game Freak is making in the development department,
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Gen 10 is going to look exactly like Gen 9. It's going to have bad decisions in the gameplay and mechanics department. It's going to have all sorts of visual glitches, probably worse than some of the monstrosities we saw in Scarlet and Violet. And that's what Gen 10 is going to be. For $60. As much as I'm a lifelong Pokemon fan, been playing since I was in 4th grade in Gen 1 in 98, the only reason I would play it would be to get first-hand experience to review it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I mean, sure, the glitches made for some fun in games at first, but then the fact that they never fixed it, it just became, at this point, they just don't give a fuck.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And then I'm going to say this. I know that there's all those In Case You Missed It videos floating around, and they're claiming that the first track of the game is called Mario Brothers Circuit when you zoom in beneath the Mario Kart sign.
Mm-hmm.
I think that's just like a placeholder, you know?
Yeah. It looks like a placeholder to me.
Yeah, because what I mean is like it's not that it looks like a placeholder, it's that what part of the United States does that remind you of?
Trying to think.
Don't make me sing a song from Five Will Goes West to give you a hint. It's an obnoxiously catchy song.
I'm not sure because I have at least like 5 like different types of like states in mind.
Okay, let's try this again. Which part of the United States, excluding Texas, is mostly desert?
Arizona.
One state, yes. I would like to know the Switch 2 specifications hardware-wise. By the way, well, April 2nd is right around the corner. Hopefully they'll tell us on April 2nd, you know?
California?
Maybe, but I meant the western half of the United States. Remember the Five Will Goes West song, Way Out West, when they're taking the train?
Barely.
Yeah. Anyway, but yeah, it's like, it looks like a real-world desert highway in the western half of the United States with a diner and a gas station. I'm willing to bet that they're going to take the Mario Kart Tour and they're going to actually continue making new city tracks and future Mario Kart games.
Mm-hmm.
But that's not my wish for Mario Kart. Here's the thing. You have a game that had 48 tracks at launch. And they added 48 more tracks.
Mm-hmm.
Who's going to want to play a game with only 32 tracks at launch after being spoiled by Mario Kart? Because Nintendo spoiled us with that DLC. I love it, and it makes it one of the biggest and best Mario Kart games to date. They need to match that in terms of in-game content, or come very close to it in terms of in-game content. So we're at least closer to matching or bypassing that if DLC comes around.
Right.
Like, it's like Super Smash Bros. Nintendo made too many games too big on the Switch. If they go backwards and put less content into new games on the Switch 2, it's pretty much going to make the games less desirable.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm not saying it's a bad thing we were spoiled with the DLC. I'm just saying it's going to have to affect their plans going forward.
Mm-hmm.
Like, if there's only 32 tracks in Mario Kart, whatever, because, again, people are at war. Oh, it's Mario Kart 9. No, it's not. Nintendo already said that Tour is the 9th installment in the franchise. 1, what about the arcade games? 2, you keep saying you can't prove it by showing where they said that. So, yeah. But the point is, like, 32 tracks versus 96 post DLC. I'm going to get burnt out with not enough tracks to race on in the new game. They need to have at least 48 minimum, or just give us 496.
Mm-hmm.
Let's say port everything over and I'd have a strict I have no clue what he's trying to say. I don't know I don't know what Matt is referring to.
I think he's referring to, I think maybe like, having less content.
Yeah. Well, depending on how long some of these games have been in development, I would say there might not be specific excuses at certain points, but we'll see. Point is, I want to see games matching what we got in the Switch going forward,
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to straight up say it. I'm going to want to be playing a lot of my older Switch games. Will I wait for newer games to come out? But I hope that they're going to get good with the content. Oh, number of courses. Well, like I said, depending on how long it's in development, we should be able to get more than just 32 to 48 at the start. I would hope. I really got to drag his ass back in for the next episode.
Mm-hmm.
I get where he's coming from. That's true about the content now, but it's like it's the live stream. It's the stream, the viewer being behind the streamer. It's a problem with YouTube. It's a problem with Twitch. When Mixer was still a thing, I wouldn't be surprised if it was an issue on Mixer. I haven't studied Instagram live streams enough when I'm at cons to know if there's like that lag like there is on video live streams. But anyway, going back to I know, man. I know. Wait for the video to catch up. Wait for the video to catch up and bring your topic for next week because I will go up to Tennessee and bring you down here if I have to, mister. I can't afford to get to Tennessee and back.
No, you can't.
Brent, take the week off. We're taking a road trip. Sad thing is, he knows I'm joking.
Mm-hmm.
But he still wants to kill me for making that joke just now. That's why he's staring daggers at me through his camera.
A little, yeah.
Anyway, so, I mean, going forward with games and franchises, what would you see? Bonus points if you say Mario Party going back to the Hudson Soft era.
Well, that was one of the things I was going to be hoping for.
Me too. We continue on.
Mm-hmm. And as for others, I don't know. I mean, with the release of, especially with the release of the HD version of Thousand Year Door, I'm hoping maybe a, Paper Mario that goes back to its roots. Or as close to its roots as it can.
Hopefully enough time has passed that Risa Tabata will reverse what she initially said, because I don't think we ever got to bring this up in Gaming Knuckleheads Talk.
No, I don't think we did.
But Game Explain asked Risa Tabata, and you can say, oh, it's just a language barrier. You don't know she was being rude, but it's like the translation came off as rude to me.
Mm-hmm.
But Game Explain asked her, with the stigmata surrounding Sticker Star and Color Splash, this is around the time Color Splash was announced. With the stigmata surrounding Sticker Star and the fact that people... Did he forget Hudson Soft is extinct because Konami dissolved them?
Maybe.
Anyway, Game Explain was like, all right, so we know that people didn't like Sticker Star. It was heavily criticized, and people are criticizing this reveal. A lot of people want damn you, Matt! Want Paper Mario to go back to its original RPG roots with leveling up, stat boosts. Will we ever see that in the future? And whatever she said in English, whatever she said in Japanese, when translated into English, the exact translation was, you want a Mario and Luigi RPG. Sorry, you want a Mario RPG? Go play Mario and Luigi. How is that not rude? Even if she said it in a polite tone, how is that exact phrasing not considered rude? They asked what?
Me, it definitely does come off as rude, but yeah. I definitely don't think they would have said straight up as that.
Mm-hmm.
Or at the very least, more than likely it was said, but the translation came off as ruder than it was meant to be. It could have just easily been dismissive in a sort of way, as opposed to rude.
Yeah, and I know Miyamoto gets really restrictive when it comes to supervising development teams, but I agree. I don't know the exact sales figures, but everybody and their brother, except for I know that there are younger generations who hate Thousand Year Door remake because they think that Sticker Star era Paper Mario is better, and aren't even willing to give the older style a chance. But the older style is better. like 99% of Paper Mario players are going to say RPG style is better. And I like Super Paper Mario. I don't care how divisive it was. It took the RPG elements and nicely blended them into a fun little platformer with an RPG advancing story, you know?
Mm-hmm.
Say what you will never change my mind that Super Paper Mario is the last good Super Paper Mario game. So the last good Paper Mario game to come out. So yeah. But yeah, because I think that if they go back to the basics, they'll win back some more fans.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm. What else you got?
In terms of other series I want, not much I could think of, probably, honestly. I mean, there is possibility there might be another Xenoblade Chronicles coming out, especially since there was an announcement that Xenoblade X is finally getting a remake on the Switch.
Mm-hmm. Wait, X isn't out yet?
Not that I'm aware of, no.
This looks like a job for Google. Xenoblade Chronicles X Definitive Edition. $59.99. Releases March 20th, 2025.
Yeah.
Xenoblade Chronicles X Definitive Edition. Digital. Physical. Oh, okay, I see. Why? Okay. I'm going to implement screen sharing to share some of this stuff with the viewers one of these days. Anyway, why are they saying I can pre-purchase the physical? Are they is Nintendo planning on now selling physical games and shipping them out the same way that like fucking Amazon does?
Don't know.
I don't have room in my apartment for that unless I move the coffee table. Unless you're talking about an actual pair of real bongos that are somehow magically able to work with, like, I don't even get how Rock Band did it with the drum peripheral, man.
I don't know either.
Anyway, I was going to say something and I forget what.
Matt, you're derailing this thing.
Can we have Borderlands 4 on Switch 2, please?
I mean, it's probably going to at some point.
I guess Nintendo got chummy enough with Gearbox.
Yeah.
Yeah. Anyway, I mean, any other hopes and dreams?
Not that comes to mind right now, no.
Mario Party, take the DLC route. Your fans will thank you for it. I can hear the echo of Miyamoto screaming at that. Anyway. All right, so let's move on to my favorite part, predictions. I have a friendly bet going with a friend of mine in New Mexico. I think that a good estimated window, if Nintendo's being generous and the rumors are wrong, 400 to 500. He's betting 450. Rounded off to the nearest dollar, aka $499.99. So, predict your Switch price tag.
I'm thinking probably somewhere between at least 400 at the very least, because I don't think there's any like actual like products like console product that's ever sold like anywhere that wasn't like priced in 400 or like in the exact hundreds.
Mm-hmm.
And
well,
I mean,
we never do that even with games,
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I'm thinking maybe 400s, probably.
I'm sticking with the 400 to 500 range, just because 400 could be decent. 500 they might do depending on how good it is tech wise. And like my friend said, his bet is on 450. I think the OLED is 350. Let me double check.
I got it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's $350.
Yeah, $350.
Anyway, but yeah, next up, predict the release window. I'm predicting holiday, and by that I do mean between November and December.
I was gonna say the exact same thing because, like, that's like the biggest moment you get people trying to buy stuff.
Hey Matt, so you would say, okay, so 350. You say 450 to 100 more than 350, so you're basically saying 400 to 450. Just to clarify, but I believe that's what you're saying. So you're right within Brent and Kane's predicted price ranges.
Yeah.
All right. Yeah. So yeah, I wager between November, December at the latest.
Yeah, and also if say some delays come through, then at the very least, like they will probably be able to sell like not too far away from the holiday season.
Yeah.
If worse comes to worse, sometimes that can happen.
Yeah. I am going to say this. I know that the fiscal year ends. The fiscal year of 2024 ends in March or April of this year. So depending on whether they're doing their system release dates to the public by the fiscal calendar or the Roman calendar, I would say if they're going by the fiscal calendar, January, February of 2026 would qualify as a quarter four 2025 release date.
Yeah, I believe you're correct because technically, in a way, like, taxes usually get paid around, I believe, in April. Like the first amount of taxes for the year get paid in April.
Yeah.
And like I recently paid the last taxes for the year 2024 2 days ago.
Yeah, and I'm just saying, but I mean, I know, when they announced that the Switch 2 would be revealed soon, they said it would be revealed by the end of the fiscal year, meaning that people who didn't understand how the fiscal year worked were all like, well, in December, they were like, oh my God, Nintendo lied. They said they'd reveal it at the end of 2024. No, they said they'd reveal it at the end of 2024's fiscal year. You still have 3 to 4 months to go.
Yep.
But I do believe that when they go by actual release dates, I think they use the calendar year. So unless by releasing in 2025 they mean by the end of the fiscal year, we're definitely going to be seeing it before New Year's Eve.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. But we'll see what happens. April 2nd, I'm hoping to see specs, launch lineup, confirmation of Mario Kart at launch, price tag, and release date. Because once the pre-orders go live, I'm putting aside $50, hopping over, putting down a reserve, finding out what I can do financial-wise to get it paid off in advance. Because I'm watching for scalpers. We all remember what happened with the PS5's launch, and I'm telling you right now, if I go to GameStop on the day of the Switch 2's release and there isn't a single Switch 2 in stock because scalpers bought up all the stock in the store, including stuff that legally belonged to me and everyone else, I'm telling GameStop, you go to Nintendo, you get us all overnighted Switch 2s so that we get what we paid for. Meanwhile, I'm going to go and speak with the proper federal institutions and tell them that eBay is allowing stolen property to be sold on their website as well as Amazon. I'll make it clear, scalped merchandise needs to be stopped. Yeah? A, it's illegal. B, people claim it's not illegal, but explain how people got arrested for scalping in the 80s and 90s if it's never been illegal.
Mm-hmm.
It is illegal.
I know.
It's just harder to enforce it online. And the younger generation is so pent up on online culture that they don't comprehend what life was like when the internet was in its infancy. So it's like scalping is illegal. It's just harder to enforce when people do it online.
Yeah.
I'm getting a Switch 2. If I pre-order it, I am getting it. And if a scalper tries to stop me, I'm going to make sure that they end up in prison for grand larceny.
Mm-hmm.
Even if I have to get the government to go after eBay, Amazon, and other websites,
Yep.
Yeah. So, but once the pre-orders go live at GameStop, I'm putting down my deposit, finding out how much I can get off the Switch One. And I'm going to tell everyone watching right now, we're not shutting down the channel and going on hiatus. As long as we play games that Brent has access to digitally, and as long as we play games from my physical library and his, we'll continue to use his Switch between the time that I'm without a Switch and the release of the Switch 2. I will try to drag it out as close to the release date as possible. It depends on how long GameStop will allow us to sell our older consoles, you know?
Mm-hmm.
Everything physical, I can just pop into the Switch 2. Everything digital, I can either re-download if I can connect both my Switch Lite and my Switch 2 to the same Nintendo account to re-download everything. And even then, I still have system transfer. Mm-hmm. So I do intend to sell my older Switch closer to the release date to fund the newer Switch, make it easier on my wallet. But don't worry, gameplay-wise and channel videos, we ain't going nowhere.
Mm-hmm.
Who knows? Maybe we'll run Borderlands on Brent's Xbox one day. I'll drag the equipment over to his place.
We'll see.
We'll see. Saturday Borderlands streams.
How can you use it? You're not even here.
He has his ways. All right. Well, I guess that wraps everything up.
Yeah, I guess.
Okay. Tune in next week when we figure out when the hell we're even doing a podcast next week, because we're trying to get everything back up and running. We're back to thrice weekly uploads for Let's Plays, and we're still planning on scheduling in random streams. Okay, Restream has an echo cancellation option for microphones.
Mm-hmm.
OBS needs to implement that so I can do remote Discording again without having to figure out how to get rid of the mic echo.
Mm-hmm.
Matt and I will figure that out, but we're getting the channel back up and running, so we're trying to get back to weekly gaming Knuckleheads talk. Now that we're getting back to weekly thrice weekly Let's Play uploads. So, we plan to be back next week, and we're probably going to do like a triple topic. Good night.
Night.
We're planning to do a triple topic like normal, or a double topic if Matt's not here. Mm-hmm. We'll find out how he's feeling next week, But anyway, that's all for now. Let us know your thoughts on the Switch 2. Let us know your predictions and what you'd like to see from games to hardware. And yes, we will count folders and themes as an acceptable answer.
Yep.
We will. Nintendo had a good thing going with the 3DS.
Yep.
Where the hell did they go wrong? All right. See you all later. Bye.
Bye.